I want to begin today with a little bit of storytelling. See if you can relate this for you in your experience, okay? Once upon a time, there was just a wee little Sean. He is about 4 or 5 years old or so, and he was excited about life. He would run downstairs when he woke up in the morning before anyone else got up, and he would sit on his beanbag chair, and he would open up his Dr. Seuss books, and he would watch cartoons, and then when the sun came up, he would run out into the woods, climb trees, cross the brook, and build his own little bridges, look for salamanders and crystals and all sorts of fun things. Now, that was his very nature: curiosity, fun, wanting to learn, wanting to explore life, right? Then what happens is, as we get to about 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, at different points during that process, we start to form our emotional patterns. Now, with your emotional patterns, think of how intense those were when you were in that visceral anger and hatred, and your beliefs about yourself and the world were really distorted, and maybe you had a lot of self-conscious stuff. I know I was extremely insecure, and I had a lot of negative beliefs about myself, and the emotion behind it was so real because that belief felt so real that I imprinted it very deeply into the subconscious. And now, as an adult, we're having these experiences where that which we emotionally imprinted is still running the show. So what do we do about that? How do we address that? How do we start to shed those layers? Because right now we are in a massive collective shedding of the layers, as seen with what's happening in the outer world. The war within is the war without. There's no mistake that this conflict is arising. That particular point on the planet is a lot of it's almost like a family conflict zone, like unresolved, deep, familiar conflict, and that's like the pinnacle point imprint on the earth itself, because the earth has energetic grid lines, and when humans do lots of crazy stuff and we imprint our emotional signatures into the grid, and it's in the land, and then it comes back up, and it can kind of play through us like puppets if we're not careful and we're not in tune with Mother Earth. So everything is healing right now. We're in the process of within our own families, within our own individual selves, healing that war, those conflicts within us. So you can grab your protest sign and you can go march out in the streets, and has that ever actually done anything? Not really. The most important thing you can do is realize, like, all right, I'm going to take it upon myself to transmute that conflict energy. Any place that I'm at war with myself, I got to resolve that. And if enough people start doing that, that's going to make a big shift. Think about the energetic signatures of enough human beings doing that, where it's like a candle in a dark room that can light up the whole thing, right? Because then our energy fields start to sync together, and now other people's auric fields, electromagnetic fields, are reading the information of people that aren't walking around with these internal conflicts anymore. It's a big deal. And that's why I always say on this channel that I have so much respect for people on this path, because it takes courage. It takes you not distracting yourself. It takes you intentionally setting some time to go within yourself and claim, all right, I'm doing this. I'm not going to let these patterns continue to loop, because it's a time of honesty, my friends. And it's like, am I happy with my life? Do I have a level of fulfillment? Am I feeling like I'm walking my soul's path? Am I feeling like I'm doing what I came here on the planet to do? Because if you are not doing that, your soul is going to orchestrate things and probably use pain because that's effective for us, and lack of fulfillment and depression and all these different things to show us you ain't on the right path. All right? We got to get you out of the shadow, and I'm going to get into this in a second. This is the meat and potatoes of the video. And I know what you're thinking. I thought I was already getting the meat and potatoes because it's been so great. No. That's coming up. That was an hors d'oeuvre. That was an appetizer. So this is a time of being radically honest with yourself and looking at your patterns, looking at the places you're out of alignment. Look at the things that are showing up every day where you're maybe judging yourself or you're making a choice that cascades into a series of other bad choices, and you're kind of in the same place, right? And you're like, why is nothing working for me? But you're in somewhat of that unconscious, like not seeing the patterns that are keeping you in place, but pretending like they're not there. Because our egos are very good at that. They want nothing more. When I say ego, you could also say the old frequency, the energetic signature that you have been feeding with your life force, with your thoughts, with your words, with the choices that you make, the actions that you're taking in the physical realm. You're becoming radically honest with yourself, which means staying present throughout your day, which I will tell you has been one of the most challenging things of my life, because I learned early on, I went from that excited, curious, filled with life, cannot wait to explore this place, to a much more boxed in, cut off, shut down part of me, because I learned that out here was very intense. There was a lot of chaos in my home environment. There was a lot of chaos within myself. So I would tune out. I would be more in my mind and less here than anything else. And then I also would use video games, literally anything to distract myself than fully being here, because I made a decision of like, I don't really like here. This doesn't feel safe to me. So I'm going to find a place within myself where I can check out. Now, I practiced that enough times where it started to become automatic. And I kind of entered this like autopilot, like default mode network place that translated into every area of my life. Now, why do you think that there has been so many zombie apocalypse movies over the years? And why do people love it? Why are they always big hits, these huge shows depicting zombies? It's because not that it's an actual thing, it's more representative of what's happening to our consciousness, what's happening to our attention as it gets hijacked by technology, and shortened attention spans continue to plummet. We're losing our focus, which is our power. And I'm sure you see it too. There's hordes of human beings that are just shuffling around and on their phone and barely even here. Like so checked out on medication, eating processed foods, TikTok scrolling, like and then maybe they're at a job that's mindless. They've learned how to do certain things so they don't have to be aware about stuff anymore, and they're just checked out, right? It's like it's NPCs all over the place. But if you're watching this channel, you ain't an NPC. You're here to fucking live. And I'm saying this as someone who has felt half dead his entire life and is now just coming out of that derp mode, half awake, autopilot place. But I will tell you, it's been an absolute fight and a battle to recondition and keep myself present and aware of what's happening within me and around me, right? A lot of us are going through this process right now. So it's like, can you give yourself anchors to stay awake? And I've talked about this in my last video, but I want to highlight this because what it also leads to, it's like in our genetics, we have this thing where we're just trying to survive, right? And that's served us for a long period of time in humanity. But now that we're in this technological age, this is not about surviving. It's about thriving. It's about now you have space to realize your dharma, to enjoy your time on the planet, to not be fixated on all things survival, but we're still playing that out from the root chakra in fear, in lack and scarcity, and like learning to just be okay with settling. Like, oh, all right, I'm surviving. Like, that's good enough. Like, oh, I'll take that. So it's peanuts. You're an infinite soul having a temporary journey. This is the only time you're going to get to have this cool experience in this particular spacesuit. You want to live it all the way through. Because if you're not living it all the way through, that's what builds the shadow. The unlived life is one of the biggest shadows that we can unknowingly create within ourselves. If we're not going all the way, if we're not seeing how far we can take this thing and recode these patterns and not be owned by them and slaves to them, that shadow is going to get real big, and it's going to start doing as much as it can to get our attention of like, hey, you're not being who you're meant to be, right? And then we'll take pills and we'll just do all sorts of shit to try to get away from that. But really, it's an invitation for you to receive your blessing, for you to come into connection with the universe, live a life of synchronicity, beauty, creativity, kindness, generosity. Life is moving towards you, like, and it's this beautiful dance. And the opposite of that is all of this stuff where you become an NPC and it just like slowly takes over like some kind of cancer. And then, it gets to a point where it's really challenging to rewire that stuff. It takes a lot of, especially as you get older and your neural pathways get more cemented, it takes a lot more work. But not to say wherever you are, it doesn't matter. You align with the possibility of your full potential self, which is right next to you being like, let's fucking go. I'm right here. Wait till you see how epic this thing gets. If you just allow yourself to receive and step out of the limitation, step out of your tiny little story as the small self, right? So there are many people in this shadow of mediocrity and half-heartedness, barely there, barely showing up, maybe dipping their toes, maybe taking a risk every now and then. It's like, that's not going to do it for you. You're never going to be satisfied. And you're going to go to your deathbed and be like, fuck, I didn't know what my path even was. I didn't have the courage to follow it. And I just kind of played the same shit out. And I, in a way, contributed to the zombie apocalypse. Because, I see, and it's not a judgment because I definitely see it within myself too. I'm noticing more and more checked out people. And I get it, right? It's like there's an intensity, but I'm making this channel to create an excitement. You're in the Aquarian age. You're in the Aquarian age. We've been waiting a long time for this. This is exciting. We get to know our divine powers. Our psychic abilities are coming online. There's literally neutrinos that are coming in from solar flares carrying information that is activating our DNA, that are opening up things that we never had access to. Right? And the system is freaking out. It's like, we got to stop it. We got to keep people indoors. We got to spray shit in the sky. We got to distract people the best that we can. Because this is evolution happening, y'all. We're receiving the codes. You watching this is receiving them codes. Okay? So, what an exciting time. But also, you got to face all your shit. Right? Part of me is like, I want to get away from shadow work, but I know it's the most important thing. And so how can we make it fun? How can we laugh at our shadows? How can we see ourselves in these little patterns of limitation and see ourselves as like shuffling around like, what do I do? Oh, I'm too scared. Oh, what are they going to think about me? And just laugh at that part of you, right? Because it's dying. It's time to let it go. Speak your truth. Let your voice be heard. Show people who you are, right? We want authentic relationships. We want good stuff in our lives, but we block the blessing because of fear, right? Fuck fear. Let's get rid of that. Let's step out of that. Be like Jedis and confront it so that we can be following our unique path that has all sorts of awesome stuff tied to it. Okay? Whew. Feeling the heat? You feeling the sauciness? I'm going to get weird on this channel, just so you guys know, because that's me. I'm a weirdo, and I love it. When I let that fully fly, it's like, I don't know where we're going. But I do know that the codes, the info is going to come out. And this is what I want to share with you guys, because we're all in this thing together. It's one human family, despite whatever things look like out there. It's just a bunch of people that forgot, like, hey, y'all are being silly gooses. We're one human family. Knock it off. I'm you, you're me, living a different journey. We're all climbing up the mountain. We all can help each other in that process. Like, we're going to look, our children, our grandchildren will look at the world one day and be like, y'all were savage. You guys put people in cages. Your mental hospitals were just ridiculous. Can't believe you treated people like that. Wars and nukes, like, my God, you guys had some serious mental illness. And I'll be on my rocking chair like, yeah, oh, we did. It was crazy out there, right? I'm trying to think of our grandparents that used to do like, 15 miles through the snow just to get the blah, blah, blah. And ours is like, well, I had to scroll with my fingers like this. I don't know. Anyways, I'm psyched that you're here. Thank you for being a part of this channel. If you haven't already, I'm saying this at the end. I mean to do it at the beginning. Subscribe to the channel, right? Like, it's easy to forget to do that. Most of the people that watch us don't do that. But it helps to get the message out there, and it helps this thing to build. And I will tell you, when you start creating stuff on your own, you're going to know what I'm talking about. This is an important piece. We're all contributing, building our stuff up together. We're all participating, and subscribing is a participation. Commenting, liking, it's all part of the participation and engagement, which we're all meant to do for each other in our building process. So I just want to invite that in. Many blessings on your path wherever you are. I can promise you, you are in the right place. Your soul has you right where you want to be. And if you feel like everything's collapsing, as I will always say, rejoice. That is an epic place to be. And miracles are so close to you, you have no idea. Just stay open to receive it. As always, my friends, peace within is peace without.